Welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ted.
And it is The Last of Us.
It is the last half of the season of Last of Us.
I'm kidding. We're not going anywhere.
We're here.
We're half. It's the first of us.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're going to review The Last of Us. Finish the entire season. Mm-hmm. Got an earlier episode. We watched the first 3 episodes because I have a 3-episode series rule. And we did it. We loved it then. And now we're 10 episodes in. Do we still love it, Ted?
I love it. I love every depressing, dreadful moment in this world. It shows me. I just find it every time I think that if something apocalyptic happened, that we as people would come together, but we wouldn't. We would go into little groups and survive, and someone in that group would be a leader. It's just like Lord of the Flies. That book is so on point. Is it not, though? Like the most athletic, strongest kid, that's the smartest, most likely, goes to the top. And if he's not the most athletic, strongest, but the smartest, he gets somebody right under him as his second hand.
Yeah.
And they run the show. And I just think it's interesting. They keep in Last of Us, they keep going from little place where that's happening to little place where that's happening to little place where that's happening.
Yep. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the novel Lord of the Flies, it's like Survivor.
Yeah, it is Survivor.
but there's no real official vote. It's called death.
Yeah, you have to have the conch to speak, and sucks to your Asmar Piggy.
Yeah, and there's no Jeff Prost.
No.
So,
yeah, it's a crazy book that we had to read as part of 8th grade, I think.
Something like that.
8th or 9th grade, I can't remember. And it's a crazier movie that they made in like 1991.
Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah,
read the book.
But
nobody reads anymore, so watch Last of Us. You'll get the gist of it.
Yeah, so what did you think, if we're going in the order of the episodes, after part 3...
Or episode 3.
After episode 3, is the next episode where she goes to the mall, isn't it?
I think
with
so.
Her best friend.
I think so. The only episode I did not enjoy was, I guess it was 8, and that was they took, because Pedro at that point, and it's not a spoiler. I mean, if you haven't seen, if it's on HBO, and if you haven't seen Last of Us, go watch it. We're not going to super spoil anything, and we can't spoil it. It's so good. But there's the one episode 8, I think it is, where Pedro's been injured and he's recuperating, and they spend the whole episode doing a flashback to Belle, what's her name?
Ellie.
Ellie's early childhood, from birth to present day. And I just...
Wasn't your thing? Actually, that Left Behind thing was that was episode 7, is the one where she and her best friend go into the
mall. That was great.
That was a great episode.
It was very nostalgic. I mean, because, malls used to be really hot.
Yeah.
They were a place to go. At Friday night, that's where you went.
Rivergate Mall was popping.
It was it. But here's what I'm saying. I love HBO for the fact, and I know they've had a shake-up and they've got new leadership over there. But what I like about HBO is they're not afraid to swing for the fences. I mean, they're not.
No.
Yeah, they take something huge like The Last of Us, a video game, very popular. They put the financing behind it. They turned it into a series, which is great. It's just like Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
So, if Harry Potter if never got a big movie deal, HBO would have done that, I'm sure. Yeah. But I love HBO for that, because they'll take their lumps, but man, when they hit it big, and they hit it big with this.
They hit it big. Even on their flops, like that Carnival show from like 2003, that was a great show.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was cool. It was about a carnival. They only did 2 seasons. But any of the stuff they do, I mean, Westworld was really cool the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Westworld.
I dropped off the last couple. This show is just great. And if you like the video game, which, I mean, if you like the video game, it's following almost the exact storyline. Literal scenes are exactly the same.
Well, I can't attest to that because I didn't play the video game, but there are two members of my household who are familiar. I don't know if they've played it or they've just watched it online, and they can attest to what Ted just said. It follows along.
The last scene in the last episode is exactly what happens in the video game, word for word. And like this is rare, but the voice actress, the actress playing Marlene, is the real voice actress who voiced Marlene.
Yeah.
And my friend Ashley Johnson.
And that was the episode I didn't like.
Yes, but my friend Ashley Johnson, who was in The Help with Me, and who's an amazing actress, done a million things, and is the voice of Ellie in the video games, is Ellie's mom in this.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was cool to see. She's such a good actress.
Yeah.
She's been acting since she was like 6.
I did. I really enjoyed this series other than the one episode, which was nothing but a flashback, the one you were just talking about of Ellie's, upcoming plays Ellie's mom. And
I liked that opening scene, though. I thought that was a good opening scene with Ellie's mom.
Yeah, but I just...
It wasn't on your...
No, it was, to be honest, that one episode was kind of a downer. I'm not saying it was a bad episode. It just, we hit such a high. Is Pedro dead? Pedro's character. Is he dead? And then we fall off into this flashback episode. And I'm just left there. What happened to Daddy? I guess that's what we call him now, Daddy. What happened to Daddy?
Yeah.
Now, are you aware of that the internet is blowing up and everybody's referring to Pedro Pascal as Daddy?
No.
Oh yeah, no, he's it's huge. It's huge. So anyway, that's why I called it. What happened to Daddy?
I question this casting, but before
yeah. Oh, this is...
Because I don't really know anything of his except for like the movie he did about loving Nick Cage, which he was so good in.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's weird. I can't see him playing this dark part. And then I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, you get it.
Yeah. He did a whole season of Game of Thrones, and he was ridiculously great in that. I mean, Game of Thrones is so dark. It's just, there's not a lot of, I would say, sunshine in Game of Thrones. And Pedro came in for a season and he was a ray of sunshine. He brightened the place up because his character was so full of life. Mm-hmm. And, he was a big picture guy, didn't need to be the leader. So, but he was a leader.
Yeah.
But but anyway, he's blown up. He went on Saturday Night Live, and he did this skit where he's in a coma. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, he did this skit, and that was his creation. I mean, he came up with the skit, and it's going down as, again, the internet talking, and I agree with it. One of the best Saturday Night Live skits ever.
Really?
Yeah. No, it was absolutely hysterical.
I'll have to watch it. I'll find it on YouTube.
Yeah. Pedro in Coma SNL. That's it. But anyway, yeah, but he's really blown up. But I like the series. I
love the series.
I have no inclination to go play the video game, but I am ready for season 2 of this. And
you think you are?
Well, I am. I'm ready. There's
going to be a big old hiccup about episode 5 of season 2. There's going to be a big old hiccup, and everybody's going to be like, what?
Well, bring it on, because I love that. I like hiccups.
Okay.
I like change-ups. There's nothing wrong with me doing that, no.
I always wonder on shows like this, like, just go record all 3 seasons back to back. Like, take a year and a half or 2 years and just do this one project.
Yeah, now that it's been tested and it works.
Yeah,
the exact. Well, I can see from a studio standpoint, you're not going to go in and make this commitment to the whole thing. Let's see how the first half of there's 2 halves to the game, but the second half is going to be broken down into 2 different seasons, right?
Yes, I bet you money they shoot the next 2 seasons back to back.
I hope so.
Shoot for 6-7 months and just do them all at once.
I hope so. And I hope it's just 2 seasons. We've just watched the first one, and they run all of them consecutively. There's no downtime between the two of them. Because you get enthralled with something, and you want to keep going.
Well, they're just trying to put out the third game.
Okay.
That they're doing now.
All right. Well,
So they're trying to put that out in time to go with this, and then the fourth and final season of the show will be after that video game comes out.
okay.
But I don't know where they're going with the story at that point.
It's just that to me that's too long of a wait. You know, it's like Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso just dropped here, you know, a couple of weeks back or whatever it was, and it was just too long between season 3 and season 4, or season 2 and season 3.
Like Stranger Things, you were like, oh man, there's like a 4. My buddy Brody was like, I don't even care what happens in this season of Stranger Things. He goes, it's been too long.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy the same way. It was just too long between those series.
I tried to get into Umbrella Academy.
I did not. Season 1, hated it. My family watched it, and I would watch along to be with them, and I just didn't get it. And then the season 2 came along. Things got changed up, and the writing, and
they went back in time.
And and it was great. I mean, season 2 was great, and then I think it was season 3. We just, it was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed, but I could go back. I actually tried. I still couldn't watch season 1 because I just didn't like it. But season 2, season 3, I did.
I think you're really going to like season 2 and season 3 of this.
I don't know how I can't.
I think it's going to be a year between now and when they shoot it.
Which is just wrong. That's wrong.
Well, how old is Bella Ramsey? Because right now she's playing a 14-year-old, and in the game she's 19. I mean, I have my IMDb pulled up. I can tell you.
Yeah, I do, because I don't know what.
I think she's probably, let's see.
But
yeah, she's 20. So yeah,
she's 20.
Okay, she can do it.
She
looked 14, but
no, I thought HBO hit it out of the park, and for a newbie, unfamiliar with the game, this stood alone. I didn't need a game to follow along like everybody else's, because that's what you're doing. You know, I'm listening to people who played the game and watched the series, and their big talking point is how similar it is.
Well, the guy that's writing
it doesn't matter how. This would have been a good series without the video game.
Yes, this would have been a great series without the video game. You didn't need it.
No. I get it. It's a heightened, anticipation. It was a great marketing tool for the series, and we've taken this real popular game and turned it into a show. So that probably helped them out tremendously. But if we were sitting here without the game, I'd say people watch the show.
Yes,
it's not easy. It's not easy to watch at times. But it is really, really captivating.
I like to tell people this: like, The Walking Dead was a good starting point, but then The Walking Dead just had so much air in it that needed to be sucked out. Like, the episodes needed to end up by the end there. You needed to have 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
This, because they're not trying to stretch it out to make money and do a 7-season show, like, they're cooking. They're moving fast, and there's not a lot of air in there. And I like that.
Well, and I don't know how to put it. When you say The Walking Dead, I didn't really enjoy The Walking Dead.
Well, it was just so slow.
And this series I enjoyed. I mean, I guess the best way I could put it, this is how grown-ups write, and this is how grown-ups tell stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it that way.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, because they've created a series that has mass appeal beyond those people that are into that genre.
Yeah.
I'm not a Walking Dead genre kind of guy. I'm not a zombie. I'm not a gore guy. But this was done so, I guess the only way I can say it is maturely, that it has a broad appeal across the spectrum of viewers, like Game of Thrones. I was never into medieval stuff, but the way that was shot and
you were into it.
Done, I was into it.
I think this is just such a and I guess I just mentioned Walking Dead because they're in the same conversation.
They are.
One's a comic book that they turn into a show, and the comic book's still going. But I guess what I would say, the stakes are so much higher in this one. Everything is higher. everything feels like you're in a tense situation at all points in times, even when they think they're safe. And I think that is what the game feels like. And that's why people are really gravitating towards it.
I think that for me, a non-gamer, I think the thing that I liked about it was the story, and the story held its own against all the zombies and all the mutant virus infected people. You know, that was just that's the icing and candles on the cake. The story of getting from A to B, the fear of crossing over with either raiders, and the zombies, or infected, the infected. Those were just kind of secondary, because the story that was being portrayed between Pedro and Bella's character in it was so heartwarming, knowing their backstories. Pedro's character having lost a daughter when all this started, and then he becomes this surrogate father to Bella to get her, from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
That alone held the story.
That
held the movie.
That's everything. And then their relationship on screen is really, really, really good.
It is.
It's impressive. I mean, you believe everything that they're saying and doing.
Yeah, and I guess that's one reason I didn't like the episode as much, where it was centered on Bella's background and her upbringing and that, backstory of why she is and who she is, and the understanding of why she's developed this immunity to the virus. So
he was not into that.
Fungus, not a virus.
Of the last episodes, I really enjoyed the very last one. I enjoyed the one where Joel was hurt and she went and got drugs for Joel, and that whole that guy that seemed like he ran a cult.
Yeah, it does.
Cult.
That's a cult. Yeah,
and he was feeding people.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my people alive. I love that one part where they go, what is it? And they go, venison. Nope, it's your dead father that went and got killed on this mission.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was rough. That was a very intense episode.
Yeah.
It really was. My favorite episode, though, of all of them was really a flashback episode with, what's his name?
Nick Offerman?
Yeah, Nick Offerman.
That's a great episode. That was a really good episode.
That was an amazing episode.
Yeah.
And that's why I think when the Bella flashback happened, it was kind of a disappointment, a letdown.
Yeah.
Because the first flashback was so well done. Mm-hmm. It was a nice story change. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm ready for season 2.
Me too.
I'm going to go back and watch season 1 over.
I'm playing the game right now.
Are you?
I'm replaying the game because I haven't played it in years.
I'm gonna have to call me up. I'm gonna come over and see the game.
Yeah.
I don't need to play it, but I want to watch it and relive it that way.
It's
I guess I can watch YouTube.
Yeah, it's funnier to watch the guy's performance as Joel. Because he's real like this. He talks real Southern.
Oh, in the game.
Yeah, he's from Texas, so he talks. He's great. Come on now, Ellie.
Well, Pedro's from a little farther south of the border than Texas.
But spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time in Texas.
Chile.
As a kid, though.
Yeah. All right, I didn't know that, but I know he's from Chile.
Yeah, he's from Chile.
I love how he says that, too.
Chile. Me too.
His star is on the rise.
His star is huge.
He is, and rightfully so. I mean, I loved him in Narcos, Colombia series.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure to Pedro. Real exposure to Pedro was in that series. I think it's like 3 episodes or something like that. Narcos Colombia. Mm-hmm. And he's just phenomenal in it. I mean, I was just like, this guy's going to be big. But
and he is.
Well, he's getting there.
He is.
He is the next.
He's going to be a superhero pretty soon.
What's that? What you up to?
I don't have any clue, but I'm guaranteeing you he'll be a superhero.
You're going to the Marvel world.
He'll be in the Marvel world.
Yeah.
Or DC might try to get him, but those movies all kind of
Yeah, I don't know why
I don't want to be mean. They just aren't very good.
They're not. They're not. You're not
I mean,
being mean. You're
now
being
when
honest.
you take one of their characters, like you do a Joker standalone that Todd Phillips does, it can be good. Or you do a Batman standalone by Matt Reeves or Nolan, and there can be good. But in general, the Supermans and the Justice Leagues and all the Aquamans don't work.
Yeah, none of those really worked for me. I mean, the original Batman stuff, Michael Keaton. I don't even know if that was that Sony or Warner Brothers that did those.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. So that was good.
I think the Nolan Batmans are really good, but they're not like, he's not like a super
Right.
person. He's just a dude that has a bunch of stuff.
You have to give kudos to Disney. They figure stuff out. They take their time. They develop a look. They put it together, and it pays off because all that Marvel and DC were competing in the comic book world there, and one got one and one got the other, and Disney did a heck of a job with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and
So-
Warner Brothers still has a little DC stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway, we talk about as a location guy, I always love when they do wide shots and try to pick out the faux pas that were made in production. There is a faux pas in this.
What is it?
It's a wide shot when they're crossing over the bridge. The Dead River, is that what they called it? And there's a wide shot of them crossing over the bridge, and you can see the production camp. Yes, sir.
Oh, I got to go back and look at it.
So lower left screen. So when you look at it, the scene in the lower left, you can see
a tent, a crafty tent.
you can see 4 or 5 production personnel, cameras on a sticks, and
That's funny.
I love it. I love.
All right, I'm going back to see it.
I love picking those things out. Those are.
That's
So,
that's your superpower.
Well, no, no, it's just fun because when you're in it, I don't know from your standpoint as an actor, I know you probably get to sit in your honey wagon and they come and knock on your door and Mr. Welch, we need you on set. You're
that's pretty much what happens. They say
I get a little taste.
They say
I got a little taste of it.
They go. They'll knock on the door. We're ready for you on set, and then they'll open the door, and I'll be like, okay, cool, and I start to walk out, and it's just like you're walking directly into set to go.
Yeah,
it's directly in, and then you sit down and go.
Yeah. See, my background is mostly 99% on the production side of it. So, I look for those kind of things because that's what I'm familiar with. Like, here's a funny story. When we did Passenger 57, we used the Sanford Airport as our bulk of our exterior airport
Alabama?
stuff. No, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was still a real small airport. And the reason we got to use it, though, is because we had the Elton 11, which is a huge aircraft.
Yeah.
They had the runway was long enough, 5,000 feet, and they had a tower. If you've got, and I'm trying to remember, it might have changed since then, but if you've got an aircraft that big, you can only land at an airport that has a tower. You got to have air traffic controllers on the ground, to be able to communicate with everybody else and whatever. But anyway, so we've got the Elton 11 and it's parked on the tarmac.
Okay.
And so we're doing an exterior shot of the plane. So we wanted some background action of planes taxiing through. Well, we used the hangar. We rented the hangar of the Otto brothers down there, and these guys ran a school, and they're both Vietnam vets, flew helicopters, and they had a lot of Cessna 142s, 152s, 172s, those kind of things, smaller, trainer kind of craft. And so the director, Kevin Hooks, he wanted in the background, he wanted to see planes taxiing through there. And because of the width we had, we just could, to get multiple aircraft into the shot, we could only use the little aircraft. But anyway, I'm in one of the 152s with Ted Otto. And so I got the radio and Kevin was not Kevin, but Gary, the first AD. He's calling for background action. Okay, that was our cue. Ken pops a wheelie in the aircraft, and we're dragging tail across the frame.
That's funny.
And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, I'm acting. It's
background action.
Yeah. And then you hear cut, and I hear Gary on the walkie-talkies going, "Andrew, is that your plane? What are you doing?" You just burned one. And I was like, "Oh my God."
That's when it was on film.
Yeah.
You can't burn them on film.
I mean,
the quickest way to piss people off is burn one on film.
Yeah, because that's expensive stuff.
Yeah, you burn one digitally. They don't care that much now.
Well, and I think it was kind of a big setup too, because if I remember correctly, Wesley Snipes, who stars in the movie, was coming off of the aircraft through the wheel well or something like that, the tire well, and so it was a real scene. It wasn't like we were shooting B-roll.
Yeah.
You know, and so
you messed up a scene.
I didn't do it.
You were in there and you're on production. You're part of it.
I had no idea that Ted Otto was going to ride a wheelie and a little Cessna in the background. And it was great because they caught it, you know. And I was, you know, it was funny because you get in those positions where people do stuff and you know they're not supposed to be doing it. Yep. And you're like, okay, if the people behind the camera, if they didn't catch that, then we've just created a faux pas scene, you know, that's going to get ridiculed by the critics. And, you know, look at that aircraft in the background doing a wheelie on a tarmac.
It's a fun blooper.
Yeah, but it was principal action, and you don't blooper that. You don't blooper, not as an extra. No. Extras out there, do your job. Because if you want it to be your last day as an extra,
you can make that happen quickly.
So,
what do you give this? And what's your rating?
Oh, well,
we steered off. I'm sorry.
Well, no, this is a show's about TV and things, and so we talk our background. That's good fodder. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to give this really. It's a high B. I mean, I'm going to give this an 87, 88. And I'm not just talking from the genre standpoint. This is a 96, 97. But overall viewing, entertainment experience, this is going to be an 87, 88 for me.
I'm going to give it in the genre a 99.
And
I'm going to give it
I'm not going to argue.
92 overall. Like just entertainment thing that you would want to watch.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a stomach, because it gets rough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, you know, if I had a kid below 16 years of age, I don't think I would feel really comfortable exposing them to this week after week. And I might be a little high on the age, but because my kids are so much older now and things were different back in the day when I had children.
I think if you're under 13, I wouldn't let you watch it.
Yeah.
If I ever have children, if they're under 13, they're not watching this.
They're not. Okay.
Over 13, it's like, wow, what you're seeing at school is worse than anything here.
Don't even go there.
Right?
Right. No, yeah. You know.
It's more of a horror movie than this is.
Wow. Yeah. Times have changed.
They have.
You know. Yeah. The only weapon you had in school was a fist.
Yep. That's true.
And the only reason you fought was over a girl.
It's crazy.
That was it.
It's crazy, but we are a film and television podcast.
Or homework. You didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I think overall entertainment value, high 80s, and for the genre, 96.
There we go.
Yeah, because it was good.
It's great.
Pedro's amazing.
He's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Both of them were in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, that just had to be great for them. I love when you do a show and you reunite with crew and cast that you've worked with before, because you are a family on the set. So they had to have a big, chemistry thing, even though they didn't ever work together.
It's just them most of the time in the show.
Yeah, they had great chemistry together.
So
they really did. Because who's your daddy? Pedro.
Pedro
is the daddy.
He's the zaddy.
He is. I love that the internet's blown up with that. All right, guys, we love it that you guys tune in every week and download or listen live to the podcast. Tell your friends. Seriously, go and like the Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That only helps us out. Not that we're doing this for any other reason than the love
of the game,
the love of the industry. Anyway, so thanks again. Till next week, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.